Hey guys, I'm Clayton, and guess what I found while cleaning out my parents' basement? My old VCR! That stands for video cassette recorder. It doesn't look like much, but this baby once opened up the doorway to my imagination because this VCR is how I watched my movies. I'm not talking about movies you can watch at your local movie theater. I'm talking homemade movies, like this one, Star Wars! No, not that one. This one's completely original. Watch this. That's me, Duke Space Runner, protecting the galaxy from the dreaded Darth Vader, played by my dad. Dad was always kind enough to be in my movies. Kindness is showing others they are valuable by how you treat them. There's my dad now.
I am your brother.
No!
I forgot about that part. Rewind. One more time. Rewind.
No!
Not the best example of showing kindness right there. Keep watching.
No!
I don't think I ever apologized for that. I wish I could rewind back to that day so I could tell Dad I was sorry. Kindness is that important to me, and as you'll learn in today's story, it's especially important to be kind to family. I'll just rewind it one more time.
No!
I feel really bad.
The Bible isn't just a book of random stories. It's 66 different books that come together to tell one story. An incredible one about God's love for us. And now for an amazing story. Inspired by the Book of Ruth. Chapters 1 to 4.
A long time ago, in a land far away, there lived a woman named Ruth. And while Ruth had grown up in Moab, she had married a man who traveled all the way from Bethlehem when food ran low. Her husband's family had come over too, though his father had since died. Ruth's new mother-in-law, Naomi, was happy to welcome her to the family.
Are you sure you've had enough to eat? Try a little more.
But Ruth's happily ever after quickly fell apart. In a short time, her brother-in-law died, and then her own husband. While Ruth was living near her own friends and family, she must have been worried about Naomi, who had lost both her husband and sons.
She's all alone. She's got no family here but us.
Ruth's sister-in-law, Orpah, shrugged.
Naomi's made of sturdy stuff. She'll pull through.
But Naomi could find no peace in Moab.
God's given food to his people in Bethlehem again. I'm going back home.
Then we're going with you.
Yeah, I guess.
Wait right there. Oh, we'll be packed in a jiffy.
So Ruth and Orpah joined Naomi as she began her long journey. But before they even made it out of town, Naomi stopped.
Both of you go back. You were kind to your husbands who have died. You've also been kind to me. So may the Lord be just as kind to you.
Well, okay.
So Orpah kissed her mother-in-law and left. But Ruth? She would not budge.
Huh. Now look at your sister-in-law. She's going back home to find a good Moabite boy. You go too.
Don't try to make me leave you and go back. Where you go, I'll go. Where you stay, I'll stay. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God.
You're not gonna listen to me, are you?
So Ruth followed her mother-in-law every step of the way, helping her over the rough spots.
Oh, watch your step.
And setting up their new home in Bethlehem.
We'll just put some curtains up to make it more cheerful.
Naomi's old friends and relatives were shocked to see the deep lines of grief in her face.
How can this be Naomi? She really ought to do something with her hair. Don't call me Naomi. God has made my life bitter. Call me Mara.
Ruth refused to play along.
You'll feel better when you've had something to eat. Let me go out to the fields and pick up the leftover barley.
Bright and early the next morning, Ruth went out to follow the workers who were cutting grain so she could collect the leftovers.
Ba-ba barley, gonna bake a cake filled with barley, raisins, and some dates.
Now, this field was owned by a man named Boaz, who was a relative of Naomi's late husband. And when Boaz arrived, he went to the foreman to question him to find out about who Ruth was, and then he caught up with her at the edge of the field.
Ba-ba barley, gonna bake some bread, spread with butter. Oh, hello.
Don't go anywhere else to pick up grain. I've made sure no one will bother you. When you're thirsty, go and get a drink from the water jars.
Ruth was stunned to receive such special treatment from a man like Boaz. She bowed low.
Why are you being so kind to me? I'm from another country.
I've heard about everything you've done for your mother-in-law. May the Lord reward you.
At dinner time, Boaz offered Ruth a meal. He even made sure his workers left behind extra grain for her to gather.
Ba-ba barley, time to finish up.
When Ruth carried home all the barley she had picked up, Naomi was surprised.
Oh, may the one who helped you be blessed.
Ruth continued to gather grain in Boaz's fields until the end of the harvest.
Oh, my daughter, you've worked so hard. We need to find you a good home, a good Jewish boy to provide for you. So go to Boaz and do just as I tell you.
Boaz and his workers were plenty busy at the threshing floor that evening, beating the sheaves to separate the grain from the straw. And all that hard work was followed up by plenty of good food.
To an excellent barley harvest.
Weary from all the day's work, Boaz lay down near the huge pile of grain and slept.
Sometime later, Ruth approached and twitched aside the blanket that lay over Boaz's feet, just as Naomi had instructed. Then, she lay down herself.
Boaz was startled when he woke. Rubbing his eyes, he tried to make out the figure lying there in the moonlight.
Huh. Who is it?
It's me, Ruth. You're my family's protector. So please, take care of me.
May the Lord bless you. Don't be afraid. I'll do just as you ask.
Before Ruth left in the morning, Boaz gave her some of the newly threshed grain to take home to Naomi. Now, Jewish law required Boaz to check with another man, a closer relative, before he could fulfill his promise to Ruth.
I'd like to buy the land that belonged to Naomi's husband. And marry Ruth, too.
You go right ahead.
Soon after, Boaz and Ruth were married. Naomi was delighted.
I just knew you'd find a good Jewish boy. Now, I could do with a grandchild, too.
Within a short time, God gave Ruth and Boaz a brand new baby boy. Everyone in town clustered around to meet the new child.
We're calling him Obed.
Ooh, Naomi, your daughter-in-law is better to you than 7 sons.
Ruth and Boaz smiled as Naomi cradled the tiny baby in her arms. Through the kindness of Ruth and Boaz, Naomi's bitter heart had turned soft again. She would continue to take care of her brand new grandson with great joy.
It's good to be kind to everyone, but family is special. And friends, too. These are the people you see every day, the people you'll have relationships with for years or maybe even your whole life. For some reason, though, the people we seem to be most unkind to are our family and friends. Maybe it's because we're around them so much, we just get annoyed with them. Or maybe it's because we know that they're the ones most likely to forgive us. But it shouldn't be that way. We should make an extra effort to be kind to the people who care about us the most. I want you to try something. Rewind your day in your head, or rewind your week, or your whole life if you want. Think back to a time where you could have shown kindness to your family or a friend, but you didn't. What could you have done differently? Could you have said something nicer? Could you have helped instead of just watching? How can you show kindness if that situation happens again? The one thing to remember today is this. Be kind to your family and friends. I think now would be a good time to rewind and apologize to my dad for laughing at his pain all those years ago. Right after I watch the footage one more time.
No!
I'm really sorry.